Well, the Prime Minister is today embarking on a pre-election campaign-style blitz across the country, travelling to Queensland, the Northern Territory and WA this week with a pitch on, quote, building Australia's future, with an election that some Labor insiders tip could be called as early as April. Peter Dutton is also kicking off his unofficial campaign by trying to soften his image on social media. The opposition leader has begun posting messages about togetherness and participating in podcasts to reach younger voters. Well, for their take, let's bring in columnist Susie O'Brien and journalist Joe Hildebrand, both who have come back from holidays just to do the segment. So make it good.
This is a continuation of the holiday.
No, we really appreciate it. No, we're hard-hitting stuff, Joe. Prime Minister getting out early, doing this big blitz. Is it going to make any difference?
Look, I think it will. I think one of the interesting things is, so previously, and I was very critical of this, the government strategy had been just to demonise Dutton and to make him look like, you know, the Donald Trump of Australia. Well, we all saw what the actual Donald Trump of America just did a couple of months ago at the election there. And this obviously has caused the Labor Party to completely sort of pivot in its approach. It can't just now say, look, you know, you don't want that guy, do you? Because increasingly, as the polls show, people are looking at that guy. I think maybe we do want him. I think that it's good that, and I think this has been good for the government as well, because it's meant the government has had to go out and be positive, to actually think about what it stands for, what it is delivering voters, not just running a cheap and nasty scare campaign. So I think it's great the PM's getting out there. I think Labor still can sort of scrabble together a minority government that doesn't involve the Greens or the Teals, hopefully. So, you know, God willing, it will be the wake-up call the government needs.
Interesting you should talk about scare campaign, because, Susie, Peter Dutton has released sort of a softer approach in videos. We saw, particularly towards the end of last year, the Coalition definitely hitting that scare campaign a lot more. He seems to be making a bit of an each-way bet, though, now. We're seeing him doing this podcast. It's with a younger podcaster, obviously trying to attract younger voters, but seems to be going between this scare campaign but also talking about togetherness and unity. Can a bet each way work?
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot more of these two in Victoria, because there are 4 seats in Victoria which are absolutely key. And a big part of that is Dutton softening his image, particularly down here, because he has been a real drain on the Coalition vote. So as you say, Mon, they're going to be, he's doing podcasts. He's talking about family togetherness. He's talking about getting a belly flop. He's talking about family values. It's a key pitch to younger voters and women. As Joe's saying, we've seen in the US, these are, you know, there's a lot of gender division in voting. But what's really funny about Dutton is that it does seem to be working, but he's still at the moment on a net zero likability, down from -12. So he does have a really long way to go. But the other thing that's really interesting down here in Victoria is that there was a negative ad involving Dutton put out by the state Labor Party, basically saying that he's poking fun at his wife and saying, oh, they're one of those couples that you know that are not really happy together. And Albanese came straight out and said, that's not on, we don't want to see that.
As he needed to,
Yeah, that was a disgraceful act.
It really was.
And an indication of just how juvenile the left of the Labor Party is, especially in Victoria. That was absolutely disgraceful, shocking. A massive own goal, and good old Albo for fixing up their pathetic mess. That was an absolute dog act.
Yep, agree. Thank goodness it was dealt with very swiftly. All right, now finally, how far would you go for a good deal? So we were having this discussion in the office this morning. Our boss, Jake, revealed at the prime of his life, he spent 2.5 hours of his Sunday shopping at IKEA for a toilet brush. He bought the Bowman, which is there on the left of your screen. It was only $2. Yes, it was a very good deal. And then we got online and we compared it to a similar style brush at the local Kmart, which he could have got for $5, down from $7.50. Now, to top it off, he spent $21 on the meatballs at IKEA. Reckons he's done very well for himself. Joe, how far would you go for a good deal?
Jake is the hero that Gotham needs right now. Jake is someone who leads by doing, not just talking. I mean, talk about, this is someone who puts his money where his mouth is, less money, which is important. No, I would do this in a heartbeat. I spent half of yesterday afternoon just sitting parked at a servo because the LPG was just waiting, because LPG at this servo was 92 96.7 cents instead of 94.9 cents at the 7-Eleven down the road.
It's like making good time.
And I felt
you're going to have a better trip.
And it took me about 2 hours because half the city was doing the same thing. And when I got home, I thought,
Feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
I like the severity with which that you are, and the intensity with which that you take.
You've got to care.
Susie, really hope that you're doing the same thing. All I could think about was Jake's feelings of elation every time that he looked at that $2 Bowman, which frankly is a genius name, the Bowman toilet brush. Do you feel better about something if you know you got a good deal for it?
It reminds me of a boyfriend I had years ago who used to get his head shaved every time he had a haircut because he wanted to get his $8 worth. And you just think, oh my God. But you know what? I hope your boss doesn't take the $2 IKEA special over to pay review time, because you'd be hoping that you'd get the designer exclusive model rather than the $2 IKEA bonus. But you know what? I think everybody, the tight ass kind of is the Aussie way, and we just have to love it at this time of year, whether it's Boxing Day sales or the Black Friday sales. We love it.
Yeah, well, Jake's just got into my ear and said, amen. Absolutely, he is in agreement. Jake, may you long enjoy the Bowman. Thank you both so much for coming back from your holidays. We really appreciate it. It's such a delight to see you both.
Likewise.
Especially for that last topic.